Hello everyone, this is Puka, and welcome to another Pokemon TCG video, and it's Bad Deck Monday, so we're going to try out a fun, kind of a different idea and see if we can get the job done. So, in a previous video, we looked at the first Mega Evolution from the set, Mega Heracross. Today, we're going to look at the other one, Mega Lucario EX. So on paper, this actually doesn't seem like a very bad Pokemon. 220 HP, that's pretty solid. And for 3 energy, you do 140 damage, and then discard energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So 140 is pretty good with a strong energy, and then a muscle band, maybe we can do for 180 damage, which will start knocking out Pokemon one by one with Rising Fist. Now, there are many problems with Mega Lucario EX. Number 1, it is a Mega Pokemon. That means we lose a turn when we evolve. This is by far the biggest drawback in the game. Losing your turn just to evolve, not very good. So we've already got a setback there. Second, it costs 3 fighting energy. It's not one of those nice energy costs where it's like 1 fighting and then 2 colorless where we could maybe get a DCE on here and attach twice and attack with him. No, it's 3 fists. Fighting, fighting, fighting. So that's 3 energy attachments in order to start attacking with him. That's downside number 2. Downside number 3 is a weakness to Psychic. So there are many popular Pokemon that are Psychic attackers. The 2 biggest ones, Mewtwo EX and Deoxys EX, both of which will knock you out pretty darn easily. You do need 3 energy to attack. They do more damage when you have more energy, and it's just not a winning combination. So we're going to keep all this stuff in mind, and this is why Mega Lucario is on Bad Deck Monday. I don't feel like this card can really have a deck built around it and be successful, but I will try. So we have a 3-2 line of Mega Lucario EX. We don't need more than 2. There is no way we'll really get to use more than 2 in a game, I don't think. But we have 3 Lucario EX just so we can get him out faster, and then also he's a pretty decent starting Pokemon. Good Pokemon. By his own right, 3 attacks, Missile Jab, Corkscrew Smash, and then Somersault Kick. You know, not the most powerful attacks in the world, but they are very solid, especially when we have things like strong energy to add to your damage, plus 20 when it's on a fighting Pokemon. Alright, so we aren't going to try to attack with Lucario EX very much. We're going to try to Mega Evolve as often as possible. Since it's Bad Deck Monday, that's going to be the goal. So yeah, this deck's going to revolve around trying to use Mega Lucario to its fullest. Our other Pokemon we have, 2 Howlucha, just a nice free retreating fighting Pokemon that can do big chunks of damage to Pokemon EX. I love this little guy. I try to put him in every fighting deck I have. Landorus, we got 2 of these with Shout of Power. Now this is going to be our main energy acceleration for the deck. Shout of Power gets another energy out of the discard onto one of our bench Pokemon. With 120 HP, early on he probably will survive an attack, so he's just kind of our wall to put up there and get us some energy in play. Another solid Pokemon in the deck. We have 1 Stunfisk. This is probably my least favorite artwork in the world. It's like a clay Stunfisk on a rock. It's not doing anything, it's just sitting there. Anyway, we're going to have him for Muddy Water, does 20 and 20 to a benched Pokemon, and then Rumble, 40, and then they can't retreat. Muddy Water is a nice alternative to Landorus EX's Hammerhead, but he's too good for Bad Deck Monday, so we have Stunfisk instead. Mr. Mime has Bench Barrier, blocks bench damage. This can prevent bench damage done to Mega Lucario while it's Mega Evolving. So this seems like a pretty cool card to have. And then we also have 1 Dedenne. I still don't know how to pronounce this Pokemon. Dedenne, like antenna, Dedenne, whatever. Okay, so Yveltal EX is a big problem for any Mega Pokemon, because it usually takes forever to power up a Mega Pokemon, and then once you do, they have an Yveltal EX with like 5 energy sitting there waiting for you, and they Evil Ball you for a knockout. So we have one of these little guys to energy short against an Yveltal EX. 20 times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if they do have 5 energy attached, it'll do 100. Times 2 can knock out Yveltal EX for a single energy. So this little guy can do a lot of damage. If they have 4 energy, we can use a Muscle Band to knock out Yveltal EX. So something to keep in mind, this little guy is a nice counter if your deck has some troubles with the Yveltal EX. Alright, so those are the Pokemon. Now, our trainers are actually going to be more focused around keeping Mega Lucario alive. The biggest thing we're going to try out is Focus Sash. So it's a brand new Pokemon tool from the latest set, XY Furious Fist. You can attach it to one of your Pokemon, and if it's a fighting Pokemon, and it has full HP, and it's going to be knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, you survive with 10 HP, and then you discard the card. So, if you play the video game, very similar to how that Focus Sash works, but in the TCG, only works on fighting Pokemon. Now, there are tons of problems with this card. In theory, you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, I get to survive? That is amazing. But no. Number one is Startling Megaphone can just discard this, and then you get knocked out. That's probably the most common thing. Well, next to an opponent playing a Hypnotoxic Laser, poisoning you, and then knocking you out anyway. So Focus Sash not going to be particularly useful most of the time, but hey, if we can survive just once, that'll make it worth it. Right, so 3 Focus Sash. This can also be useful early on in the game. You know, if you would just want to send out a Hawlucha with a Focus Sash and then try to just, you know, the turn you Mega Evolve, you try to survive, and then, I mean, that'll work out. If you can not give up a prize the turn you Mega Evolve, hey, thumbs up. That's a victory in my book. All right, so along with the 3 Focus Sash, we do have 2 Max Potion. You can heal all the damage off of your Pokemon. And then we're also going to run Scramble Switch as our Ace Spec card. So the idea here is, a lot of the time, your opponent will simply Lysander or find some way to target down Mega Lucario EX immediately when it Mega Evolves. And then you'll be hurt, and then Focus Sash won't work. Not only that, you'll probably be knocked out after one attack, and it's just a disaster. So in order to kind of help with that, we're going to run 2 Max Potion to heal it off. And then we're going to try to Scramble Switch into Mega Lucario EX and get a bunch of energy on it, and then put a Focus Sash on it, and then it'll have full HP, Focus Sash, Rising Fist, boom, that's the strategy. Probably won't work very often, but hey, it's worth a shot. We're going to run Fighting Stadium as well. That way, with a strong energy and a Fighting Stadium, we can do 180 damage to a Pokemon EX. Seems pretty good. And then we're also going to run Hypnotoxic Laser to help our knockout ability even more. We have all sorts of different trainer cards here because we're running 4 Karina. Allows you to search for a fighting Pokemon and an item card. So we want to run a lot of very useful item cards if possible. Like we have 1 Muscle Band, only 1 because we have so many. Focus Sash, 1 Bicycle, can always be good. 1 Energy Switch, can always be good, especially with Max Potion as well. We saw the Hypnotoxic Laser, Professor's Letter, Startling Megaphone. You know, we do have a couple switching cards. And then it can also get the Scramble Switch, which is very nice. We have 3 Ultra Ball. Normally you play 4, but since you have Karina to search out your fighting Pokemon, you might only need 3 in these kind of fighting decks. The rest of our supporters, we have 4 Professor Juniper, 4 N, 2 Colress, and then 2 Lysander as well to bring out some Pokemon that might be some threats. You know, if your opponent's got a Mewtwo EX sitting on the bench, no, we want to bring that out and knock it out. Let's see, have I covered everything? I'm never sure if I cover everything with these decks. We do have the 4 Strong Energy and then just 9 Fighting Energy. I believe it's 9, yes. Need lots of them to use Shout of Power. So all sorts of fun tricks with this deck. And again, I don't think Mega Lucario will be very competitive, but of course I want to give him an honest try on Bad Deck Monday. So let's go ahead and check out a game I played on Pokemon TCG Online and see if we can actually use Rising Fist to get a knockout. If I can get 1 knockout with Rising Fist, I think I'll be happy. So, we got a Mulligan, and then we're going to start off with the Landorus along with 2 Lucario EX. Go ahead and bench both of those. And, ooh, we see a Seismitoad EX right off the bat. Ugly looking thing. We don't like to see that guy. Quaking Punch is just downright annoying. And Hypnotoxic Laser, oh no. Another thing we don't like to see, and actually we just see, well, my opponent's going first, so just a pass, so that was actually pretty good. Well, pretty good first turn for my opponent, but no attack, and I don't believe I saw a supporter either, so could be worse. Alright, so just going to pass the turn. I could chorus for 4 there, but I do have the Mega Lucario in hand, so we'll see what happens. We see an Ultra Ball and a Pyroar coming out, and then a Bicycle for 4. Oh man, and a Blacksmith. So the only way we can deal with Pyroar is actually Mega Lucario. So this is going to be a frustrating game, probably. We do see the Muscle Band going on to Seismitoad EX and a Quaking Punch for 100. Poor Landers is weak to water. And now I have to decide what to put out there. I think I might just do Lucario EX, get the Fighting Stadium, and then if we draw an energy, we can then Corkscrew Smash. And fortunately, I did draw the Fighting Energy to do that. So there is the Corkscrew Smash for 80 with the Fighting Stadium. And they're going to draw until I have 6. Lucario EX is pretty cool when you can pull that off turn 2. We are in a little bit of danger that Mewtwo is sitting back there. So with the DC and a Muscle Band, it could very easily knock out my poor Lucario EX. But hopefully that does not happen. There's the double colorless though, and a Quaking Punch. So 50 damage to the Lucario EX. Alright. So I'm going to go with the Karina. And okay, Howlucha was my plan, but both of those are prized. Well, so much for that. So we're going to grab a Stunfisk instead. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but oh well. And then I'm going to grab a Muscle Band. The item card probably not too relevant since I can't play them. So that's pretty unfortunate. Okay. We'll go ahead and bench the Stunfisk. And, you know, Strong Energy would have been cool here to get a knockout on the active. Or Strong Energy to just Shout of Power with Landorus would have been cool. But no, we're just going to go with a Corkscrew Smash for another 80 damage. And then fill the hand up to 6. So the things are not looking great so far, but they could be worse. You know, at least we're softening up this Seismitoad EX. We can knock it out easily with a Muddy Water later or a Lander, Shout of Power. Or my opponent can play a Super Scoop Up and actually just pick it up completely. What is that? I gotta remember, Super Scoop Up is in the format again. Oh my goodness, is that annoying. Alright, so instead of having a free knockout on board, we get X-Balled for 200 damage. And things are looking bad, to say the least. Just not looking good by any means. But hey, we're going to try. We got a Muscle Band. I'll probably plop that down onto the active Landorus so we can Shout of Power for some more damage. Drop a Focus Sash on the bench Lucario. And alright, here we go. Going to get the Strong Energy on the active. And then Shout of Power for 80. Softening up the Mewtwo quite a bit. And then we'll go ahead and get it an energy onto the Lucario EX that already has energy on it. That way we can power up for Somersault Kick, or we could actually get Mega Lucario going and go from there. So we got all sorts of options going on now. Unfortunately, my hand is pretty much dead at this point. We do have 3 energy, a Scramble Switch, and a Lysander, but no way to draw extra cards, no way to search for my Mega Lucario, so Pyroar may be coming in for a clean sweep very shortly. Now my opponent did play a town map, so I can actually see what prizes are there. Interesting that we see the computer search. That gives me some information. I know I won't have to deal with any Scramble Switch or anything like that. Lysander is in there. I saw another one earlier, but that means there's only one in the deck. And then there is a DC there, so I don't know, at least give some information. And okay, so I do top deck the Karina. That's going to be pretty useful here. We'll go ahead and play that. Seems like a good idea. Or actually, I could Lysander and bring out the Mewtwo and knock it out. That is option number 2. I think we're actually going to do that. So, going to go ahead and retreat into my Lucario EX, and then we can Lysander out the Mewtwo and knock it out. Seems like a good plan, right? So let's go ahead and bring out the Mewtwo and then knock him out. Should be a good idea here. Go ahead with the Corkscrew Smash. We got the Fighting Stadium in play. Uh-oh. Oops. Oh, I don't have a strong energy. Uh-oh, that was a bad mistake. Whoops. Well, I'm not perfect. Never claimed to be. But that was a pretty bad mistake. Alright, so looks like this could be very dangerous. Ooh, okay. Fortunately, he didn't have a hypnotoxic laser, so just going to get hit by an X-ball for 200 and then survive it thanks to the Focus Sash, so at least that happened. And now, let's see, I could retreat. Not sure who to put out here. I think we'll do Stunfisk. Seems like a decent option. I do want to just knock out the Mewtwo, but let's go ahead and max potion off the active Landorus. And then Shout of Power for 60 damage. And then get a Fighting Energy onto the benched Lucario EX. We'll get the fresh one going. Got the Mega Lucario EX off of the prize. Could have played a Karina there, but I don't think there was anything worth grabbing with Karina. And, yeah, I don't know if I should have played it, but, you know, whenever I feel like I don't need to play supporters and I'm just playing them to play them, I try not to do that. But there we do see the Scorching Fang for 60. Here I will Karina for the Mega Lucario EX. And then, well, there's all sorts of cards we could take here. Could do a Max Potion, could do a Focus Sash. Max Potion might be cool to heal off my other Lucario EX, who is heavily damaged right now. I wish you could just double Mega Evolve in a turn. That would be so much cooler than having to end your turn. It should just be you can't attack. That would be so much better. But, nope, we're going to Mega Evolve, and that's going to be the end of the turn. But now we do have something that can knock out Pyroar. So there's that. Positive thinking. My opponent gets a Professor Juniper. Gets a fresh hand of 7 cards. This is not looking good. Pyroar is fully powered, and my opponent will get a prize after this, which means can probably grab Computer Search or Lysander or DC, one of those 3. All of those probably end up with a Mewtwo getting powered up. DC was the card that was taken. And, well, I'm going to do the only thing I can do, send up the Mega Lucario, and then I'm going to Karina for a Focus Sash. Hey, at least we'll try to let the Mega Lucario live, right? Even if a Mewtwo and a Muscle Band come down, then, well, at least we'll be able to do something. And there's the Rising Fist. I'm holding on to the strong energy because I don't know if I really need that anywhere. Basically, this Mega Lucario has to go the distance in order for me to win. Oh, otherwise, I do have Scramble Switch if I really want to power something up. Man, this is weird. We do see a Lysander, so the Max Potion on the damaged Lucario EX actually saved me the game. Very happy about that. Looks like my opponent's going after my Dena, little electric mouse thingamabob, and gets a knockout there. But I do draw an N for the turn, and my opponent is really lacking here in any threats, so we're actually going to get an N to 1, and I was getting destroyed the entire game, and all of a sudden, Mega Lucario coming out with the Rising Fist and just knocking out Pyroar one by one, and what do you know, that's it. So even with a misplay and being down like 3 prizes, somehow Mega Lucario ended up knocking out a bunch of Pyroar and winning. Don't ask me how, but it did. Pokemon just doesn't make sense sometimes, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Ooh, we got to see what I got off of the mystery gift. So let's see. Mega Lucario EX MVP, of course. Rising Fist, taking on all those Pokemon. And let's see what we got. Oh, a pack of XY. One of the less exciting things off of the mystery gift, but I'll take a pack, sure. All right. Well, I hope you guys, again, enjoyed the video. I'll certainly have some more for you soon. I am Puka from the Top Cut, and I'll see you guys next time.